Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Comic Call. I'm your host, Dylan Lang. I literally just finished my new episode of Dylan Knows, so I'll be posting that a little later, probably not till tomorrow. But I figured I'm running a little late this week. I did get comics this week for my other show, the Comic Call, which is what this one is. So I figured I just finished the one show. I still got a little bit of time. I'm going to jump. There's a comic book thing going on there. So pretty cool. But I figured I may as well do my comic call now since I'm already down here doing the show, and usually my shows go about 2 hours, but I broke early, so this one will be a quick one because there's not a lot that I bought this week that came out this week. And it is late. I know I probably should have done it on Thursday or Friday, but today's Saturday. You're going to get it anyway. So this is this week's comic call. It's only 1 week's worth of stuff. The last 2 episodes were 2 weeks, but I'm back on track right now, and I should be back on track for 1 week next week as well, and hopefully I won't be late next week. Now, next week, I gotta tell you one thing real quick. Next Saturday, the 15th of September, is Batman Day. Go to your local comic book store. Not every single one of them might participate in it, but you should be able to get a free Batman comic book on Batman Day, which is on the 15th. It's going to be similar, I think, to Free Comic Book Day, so you can get a free Batman comic, I think, and then most of the stores will probably have like Batman sales going on right now. It's something that's gone on for the last few years, and that's what it's been like. So I figure what I might do is I'll probably dress up as a Riddler. I'll head up to my comic book store, get my Batman comics, maybe take a few pictures. We'll see what happens. But speaking of Batman, this week starts off with Batman. This comic is stunning. It's amazing. Tom King has been killing it for 54 issues, or actually 53 issues. I haven't read this one yet. It just came out this week. This is a one-off about Batman's relationship with Dick Grayson, the original Robin and now Nightwing. It's written by Tom King with art by Matt Wagner, who is a classic artist from the comic world. So you get some nice comics here. It covers the whole history of Dick, going from when he first comes to town to when Bruce and him had a argument and a problem with each other, and leading to the way it is now, where they are very much father and son-esque, which is good, which is the way it should be. So I can't wait to read this. Tom King has just been killing it. If you haven't read any of Tom King's Batman stuff, Batman week is probably going to be the absolute best week for you to go and pick up the stuff. Because if your stores are going to be doing Batman sales, maybe the trades that Tom King has done, you can pick them up and read them. It starts off a little slow, but it gradually gets a whole lot better. And he's still going to be on. He says he's got at least 100 issues in him and maybe more, so we'll see what happens. Another great series, Adventures of the Super Sons, #2. This is a 12-issue miniseries. It was a regular series for a while, but they've switched it up a little bit. This is now going to be a 12-issue miniseries written by Peter Tomasi, with art by Carlo Barberi and inks by Art Thibault. It features the young League of Doom, so you get like young Lex Luthor and young Brainiac and young Joker, and crazy stuff. But it's a great series, and I love the interaction between Damian and Jonathan. It's like the creation of the New World's Finest team, and they actually appear to be a team that when they get older, they will be the world's finest team. So good series. Definitely worth checking out. Scott Snyder continues his run on Justice League. I make a joke about this because while I like Jim Cheung's artwork, he can really only draw like one issue every, it seems like every 3 months or something like that. So he was originally put on and announced as the, written by Scott Snyder with art by Jim Cheung and other people. Jim Cheung did the first issue, and I was doing issue #7. But it's worth it because his artwork is amazing. It is gorgeous. But the problem is he just takes forever to do it. The Justice League has been a fairly interesting story. Snyder is playing with the mythos of the Justice League and is making them have a lot harder time. And they've got a whole game-changing scenario going on. So we'll see what happens. down the line. So pretty good stuff. Jorge Jimenez has done the majority of the artwork, and his artwork is fantastic. Jim Chung is still pretty good. Martin Morales, Walden Wong, and Chung did the inks. So it's still good. The artwork's gorgeous. The storyline is still kind of crazy. And I'm going to keep reading it because it's just the right amount of crazy. So we'll see how that goes. Deathstroke versus Batman. This is the final part of the storyline, written by Christopher Priest. It's Deathstroke number 35. Carlos Paglione and doing the pencils, and Jason Paz and Andy Owens do the inks. This is the last part of the Batman versus Deathstroke story, and then you will get into a new story arc for Deathstroke. So we'll see if I continue on after that. But Christopher Priest is doing a wonderful job with the story, and it's always good to see Batman pop up against Slade, particularly. I love Dan Jurgens, but I'm really getting disappointed in Green Lanterns, and it's only got a few more issues left before Grant Morrison takes over for Liam Sharp, and I don't know if I can keep reading it because he just keeps going off on these weird tangents. So we'll see. But the artwork's nice looking. Dan Jurgens, writer, artist Marco Santucci, finishes by Scott Hanna. Now, what I don't like about it was when the book first came out, it focused on Jessica and Simon Baz. The others had their own book, Green Lantern Corps book. Well, that book got canceled. So Dan Jurgens said, I didn't want to just write those guys. I want to write the whole Justice League, the whole Green Lantern Corps. So he's writing a story, which he brings back the Cyborg Superman to finish up some stories that he probably had in his head from Superman, and he's bringing it to the Green Lantern forefront. So we'll see what happens. But I haven't been enjoying the Dan Jurgens stuff, and as I said, it's only going to last a few more issues, and I figure I may as well just stick on for the ride, so I'll have a complete run of it, and then if I decide to get the Grant Morrison, Liam Sharp Green Lantern, I will. I'm still on the fence about that. It is Grant Morrison, it is Liam Sharp, but I'm not the biggest Hal Jordan fan. It's going to focus more on Hal Jordan become like a police procedural. So I'll get the first issue, but after that, we'll see. Speaking of first issues, Marvel, which we're talking about now, has a new first issue, The Asgardians of the Galaxy. Sort of jumping on to what has been going on in the movies. You're getting a new book written by, who wrote this? Cullen Bunn, with art by Matteo Loli and Frederick Lee. And it's, they need a new group of people to patrol the galaxy because the Guardians of the Galaxy aren't doing it anymore. So they're bringing in characters from the movies, Valkyrie and the Destroyer, and Angela, who's like a Hela type of thing, and the Executioner, and other stuff as well. And Frog Thor and Nebula pops up in this one. So you've got all these different things connected to the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and stuff like that. So it looked good. Cullen Bunn's a great writer, so I'll see if I stick out with it. It's the first issue. I'll read it. We'll find out. Even though the Silver Surfer does not have a regular book anymore, they decided, let's release an annual, because he did have a book like 6 months ago. But here's the Silver Surfer Annual #1. Not written by Dan Slott, which is a shame because I really enjoyed his Silver Surfer. This one's written by Ethan Sachs with art by Andrea Lima Araujo. If you didn't know, Dan Slott ended his run of Silver Surfer with the Silver Surfer joining up with Galactus again to be his herald. So this artwork kind of reminds me of when Silver Surfer came back in the late 80s, and you had Marshall Rogers doing the artwork on it, and it got Silver Surfer back into like Marvel existence and became a big to-do thing. It was when he was able to break the curse where he was trapped on Earth, and he was able to go back out and explore the galaxy. And then you had Jim Starlin come in, and the whole Thanos Infinity War stuff led from that. But Marshall Rogers, that looks a lot like a Marshall Rogers type of story. I love this cover. Captain America #3. Tanisha Coates, Laniel Francis Yu doing the artwork, continuing the story arc. Tanisha Coates is a social writer, and is going to be bringing some of that stuff into this Captain America. Get Black Panther in here too, because she writes Black Panther as well, so why not bring him in as well. But I love this cover. Astonishing X-Men. I know a lot of people are hating on Greg Land, but I've always liked Greg Land stuff, and I like this team of X-Men. You've got Beast and Havoc and Dazzler and Colossus and Thunderbird, or Warpath as he's known. Just the artwork is great. I know a lot of people hating on Greg Land, and I can understand why, but I like the artwork, and I like the team, particularly when it's not a team that usually has, like the Wolverines and the Storms and the Cyclopses you're used to, and these are the guys you're not used to. So I kind of like seeing them together, and so that's why I'm buying that. Who's writing it? No, I didn't. It's written by Matthew Rosenberg. I'm sorry, I just talked about Greg Land. Matthew Rosenberg, writer, Greg Land, and Neil Edwards, art, Jay Leaston, inks. That's it for Marvel. DC, not DC, Independence. The name of this episode is A Greatness to My Lateness. I was talking about not just my lateness of doing the show, but also the lateness of Nightmare Before Christmas number 2. This is an Ant Zero's Journey. This is a Tokyo Pop manga sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas. And it follows Zero the Ghost as he's Ghost Dog as he's exploring Christmas Town. And it's done in a manga style, so you have to read it in the manga style. But the artwork is really cool. This was late. This was supposed to be out like months ago. And it's so late that issue 3 is coming out next week. So you'll see issue 3 on this show next week. So stories by DJ Milky, pencils by Kei Ishiyama, inks by David Hutchison. So issue 3 comes out next week. Issue 2 should have been out weeks ago, but due to lateness or whatever, it is out now, and it is still good. So if you like Nightmare Before Christmas, this is a good one to pick up and read as well. Finally, we have Dark Arc number 10, another great Cullen Bunn story. Cullen Bunn, Wando. The premise behind this is God told Noah to build an ark and get all the animals and his family onto the ark because I'm going to flood the earth. Now, what if the devil decided, hey, you need to build an ark also and put all these evil creatures in it? We are following the evil ark, hence the name Dark Arc. So I don't know if this is the last issue of the storyline or not. Let's find out. Nope, still to be continues. So there's that. That's all my comics for this week. You can get all these at your comic book store today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and they'll be in the new comic book section. Next Wednesday will be new comics coming out. I saw what was coming out next week, but honestly, I don't remember what it was, so it's going to be a big surprise to me when I check out the list on Monday. Probably be another small week, but we'll see. I do know for a fact that Nightmare Before Christmas number 3 will be out next week. So you get 2 this week, you get 3 next week. So there you go. And then it'll go back probably to a regular basis. All right, I'm done. You have a pleasant day. Go to your local comic book store. And don't forget, next Saturday, September 15th, go to your local comic book store. It is Batman Day. Get a free Batman comic. Pick up some Tom King Batman trade paperbacks and anything else Batman related, because they should have all kinds of Batman sales going on. Dress up as your favorite Batman cosplay as well. And who knows what you'll do. Enjoy yourself and have a good week.